All right, welcome everyone. This is Stephanie with the Illinois JCs, and today we have Jesse Neighbors, the VP of Programming, to talk about the CLC and the chapter plan. Thanks for joining us, Jesse.
Thank you, Stephanie, and everyone for joining us today as well. So, as you know, on your jcmember.com, there are items called the Civic Leadership Certification. Within that, it does also include a chapter plan of action. So, if you scroll down, you can see your civic leadership. Mine does say to Illinois because it is the state one, but you can see your items here, including updating your membership database, which is on jcmember.com. Conducting a board orientation for your board of directors, conducting local officer training, and then submitting your chapter plan of your chapter plan of action. And this is something when you look at these chapter plans of action, you will do kind of a quarterly review of them. They are there to help you assist you with having balanced programming. So there's a lot of great tools that you can use and we have out there to help you with these as well. If you log on or go to the illinoisjcs.com, in the chapter member resources, you've got the state Dropbox here. And that's going to take you to all these different kinds of links. There is the Civic Leadership Certification here, which we will be looking at, but there is tons of other information available to you and your chapters and members to assist you with doing different things throughout the year. So under the Civic Leadership Certification, there are training materials that include a PowerPoint, also a packet that goes kind of further in depth about some of these items. There are also chapter plan templates. So what I'm going to go over today is kind of break down the chapter plan a little bit, because it can seem like a daunting task, especially if you've never worked on one before. We want all of our chapters to be encouraged to create this document. It kind of helps keep you in line with your goals and get that well-balanced programming that we all strive for. So there are several different things in here. This one is nice. This one is to kind of help you plan, but it also follows kind of the regular breakdown of what the chapter plan will entail as well. So the chapter plan is going to help you kind of track your growth along with your projects and your membership as well. You're going to want to look at your chapter strengths and weaknesses. That's going to fall into areas with membership as well as your chapter itself, and also with your community involvements. There are the 4 areas of opportunity that you're going to focus on with your chapter plan as well. This is going to be your business area, which is also your chapter relations, the community involvements, your membership, which is going to have the retention, activation, and growth projects in it, individual, and as well as your individual and ID projects, which are your professional skill developments. And then you have the international area of opportunity and the national initiatives, which are going to be things like currently we have the Polar Plunge, participating with Camp New Hope. I'm doing nothing but nets to help prevent malaria, the spread of malaria. And then also last year we had the Children's Hospital Initiative. So when you're looking at these kind of things, the best way to start off creating a chapter plan is to set out all of the events that your chapter does. What do you normally do? Do you have your monthly meetings and your monthly board meetings? Are there regular projects that your chapter runs? Kind of lay those out and get an idea of what you do and when you do them. And you can break that down into your different quarters throughout the year. So then you can do also a SWOT analysis of it. So a SWOT analysis is going to be looking at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you can look at, once you've got these all kind of broke down, which area of opportunity are they going to fit into? Is this an individual project? Is this a membership project? Is this going to be something to get chapter funds or put out press releases and fall into your business area? So once you've got those kind of categorized, you can look also, when do these happen? Are you able to get one of these projects in all of your areas of opportunity in each quarter? Or are certain quarters heavier on certain areas? That kind of helps give you the layout to look at it and be able to see, are you lacking in certain areas? Are there areas that you can kind of beef up some of your projects or have more opportunities in that area as well? When you're looking at these different areas also and thinking, is there more that I can do in that? Think about having SMART goals. You want your goals to be specific, measurable, achievable or attainable, and also relevant, meaning that they will align with the long-term goals, and also time-based. So you have an idea, you want to run a new project in this quarter because you're not hitting all 4 areas of opportunity. You're not getting that balanced programming that's so important to keeping a strong chapter. So when you look at that breakdown, you've got that area, you can focus just, on the certain quarter you're in. You don't need to look ahead at all the rest of it too far, because especially if it's your first time, you're trying to get kind of a handle on where your chapter lies and what areas you might be able to do more in, or what areas you're doing a lot in. And that might be the strong suit in your chapter. This also gives you an opportunity to set out a membership plan. So you can see your numbers. This is great, especially if you're looking back at previous years. You can see when you're growing and see if that aligns with certain types of projects that you've got going on as well that draw in more membership. Maybe then you can add some of those projects throughout the rest of the year as well in areas that you might be needing them. So you can look at your numbers, see where your renewals come up, if you have people that are aging out, and what is an attainable goal for you to create growth in each of those quarters. Here's some info on kind of a membership plan on this one here. So you get an idea of the number of members you have, the numbers that are due, how many you're retaining, and you can see the breakdown of it as well. It's also great to have your calendar of events, excuse me. So that's going to be your board meetings, your general membership meetings, and then any projects that you have. And then you do also have the budget as well. So budgets are important because you do need to look at what are the costs of operations for your chapter. Every chapter is going to have a cost of operation. So you need to make sure that you're not spending more in an area of community if you don't have the funds to keep your chapter operations going. So that's going to be things like your PO box, your insurance, your incorporation documents with the state of Illinois, as well as your taxes, membership dues, and things like that as well. You're going to lay out your expected income from all of your different projects. So if you have money coming in, what you expect to spend on some of those things as well. You've got all those different areas of opportunity that you can put that information into. And then once, this is kind of just to help you plan for it, but it is kind of the same breakdown as the, let's see, that thing dropped on the top, sorry. It is the same kind of breakdown as some of the other documents. So this is more of the basic chapter plan that is available. It breaks everything down. There's several pages of it here. Let's see if I can, nope, can't jump pages, okay. But you'll have your quarterly evaluations. So this is a chance for you to look at what you've been doing over the quarter. What were the goals that you set out for yourself in your chapter, and what was working? What might you need to adjust? So don't be afraid to adjust some of these goals as well. This is kind of your strengths and weaknesses there on the screen to help you get that idea of what goals you want to set for yourself. So again, don't be afraid to adjust your goals. We saw that a lot last year, especially with COVID. We all had high expectations at the beginning of the year, and a lot of those projects couldn't happen, but it was a great way to be able to look at what projects your chapter has, decide if there's a way that you could alter it to be able to run that project, or to even see, okay, so we were able to do these certain projects, but now we couldn't run these other ones. What are ways that maybe we could run a fundraising project since we weren't able to have our large chapter fundraiser? So the evaluation process is really kind of to help you say, were my goals realistic? Do I need to adjust them? Is there a better way that we can create chapter growth with this? Jenna, do you have any questions about the chapter plan or any kind of feedback about maybe the documents or how you go about working on it when you look at your chapter plan?
I will just say, from a user standpoint, the document is not friendly. I think just in terms of like filling it in, but I'm also old school and like if it could be like a fillable, I don't know, like PDF or something, or if there was a better, more improved version of it, I think maybe people would be more inclined to do it, maybe not, I don't know. But I find forms annoying when they're hard to do. So just, you know, keeping in mind that not everybody uses Word, not everybody, you know, has access to that kind of stuff. So that's my thing on it. I do think it is a really helpful thing to do. You know, putting it together, I think, especially as a chapter president, is really a great kind of way to look at a whole year, which I think some of us, especially like, you know, we say we have a year to lead and we kind of get caught up in what we're doing. And it's important to keep that, you know, that full year in front of you, not just the month or the weeks or whatever. So, or the quarters. It is a really helpful document. I do think an update and overhaul would be really great. Because I think that there's a lot of different ways of doing things. You know, examples would be good to have. But it is a great document. I think it really does guide you. I think probably the best part of it is the balanced programming. I think that really is a, you know, just great way to see where you're maybe being neglectful, especially, and where you're getting overloaded. Now, our chapter really likes community projects, so we will probably tip a lot in that, you know, community international kind of thing. That's okay. That's what our chapter wants to do. I think it's important to know that, you know, doing all 4 areas is great. But if there's one thing I've learned in, you know, just kind of talking to different chapters and being part of this one, you know, if your chapter wants to really serve their community and do a lot of, you know, projects like that, do it, you know, but just make sure you're doing those other things as well. So balanced, I think, is more just making sure you're getting everywhere, but you can absolutely outbalance your other stuff.
Yes, definitely. I mean, because you want to do what your membership wants to do. That's part of the idea of the balanced programming as well, is that you are offering something in all the different areas that the JCs represent as our chapters and where we want to offer opportunities for members to grow. So hitting those different areas allows for all those different types of projects for members to want to stay and to come in and join the chapters as well. You do not have to use the template that's out there for the chapter plan. It's probably kind of tough to create your own template, which is why that one is available. But if you want to create your own or kind of start it a different way, feel free to do that as well. It's a great document to have some version of for yourself in your chapter to be able to look at and move forward with your goals for the year. Stephanie, do you have any feedback you'd like to add about chapter plans?
Or pieces too. You know, we used our own budget. You know, we made our own budget that made sense to us and how we ran our projects and looked like at things like that too. So yeah, I think it is a great template, you know, and the feedback or the review is important quarterly. But I think you can, especially, you know, with the budget, maybe do it the way that you makes sense to your chapter.
Yes, that's a very great point, because budgets can be very difficult things sometimes to work with. And especially, you know, if there's a way that your chapter runs their projects and keeps their budgets, and that's what's going to be relevant, definitely stay with that kind of template that you have. And just again, all of those resources are available up there on the Dropbox, and that is on the iljcs.com, the new website that we've got for this year. It's an awesome website. There's lots of resources on there. And I'm always here to answer questions. My email is jessica.neighbors@iljcs.org. So feel free to reach out to me. You can also text me, Facebook Messenger me, any of the above, and I'm happy to answer questions, and I'm here to assist you with this. And thank you all for joining me today. We kept it kind of short and sweet, but again, hit me up with questions. That's what I'm here for. And have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. And the first round of the CLC is due on the 28th of February. That includes the first chapter plan submission also, right, Jessica?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Very good. And then it does quarterly again get, there's new items to
Yes.
submit.
Yep, some different variations. A lot of the ones at the beginning of the year are going to be like your incorporation papers and then your taxes, and just kind of having your stuff set up to exist as a chapter. And then it will move into some other more involved things as you kind of got your footing as well.
And if you know that I know you were talking chapter plan, but looking at CLC, that actual like screen is really helpful for just kind of like keeping you on track. Like, I know you said this, but it is, I do find it, you know, I'm a very visual person. So it is really helpful to go to that and like, I click things as I do them and just kind of like, it's helpful. You know, you can do stuff ahead of time and it's nice because then you look at that quarter submission. It's like, oh, well, it's done already. Like I'm already got, you know, and it's nice too because it chunks it out kind of into smaller tasks. So it looks a little overwhelming, but when you get to break that down, and it's not nearly as intimidating when you really kind of look at the whole thing overall. And it's not supposed to be intimidating. It's helpful, you know. But.
Thank you, Jenna.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone.